I'm on already, I'll start the and we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Tara.
Thank you. And that was me closing the remote viewer, so we should be good now. This is Mega Man Battle Network 1, and we'll be doing the single segment category, as was alluded to in Mega Man Battle Network 2, which was doing the manipulation route. Battle Network 1 can also be manipulated, but to a much further extent. However, to do so is quite precise, and since it's been a while since I've done the manipulation route, I thought it'd be easier to do single segment, and would also show off something a little different. Because single segment is kind of how the game used to be played back when Prismatic Black was running it originally, before we even knew about RNG manipulation being possible. The trick with Battle Network 1 is that at a certain point in the game you need to have 60 unique battle chips in your library, and you need to have Mega Man at level 30. And so those are kind of the focus of the run up to that point, and after that we can focus on going fast. Battle Network 1 also doesn't have the ability to run from fights, so we'll be using the escape chip to get away from battles. So we'll be getting as many of those as we can early on. That kind of sums up the focus.
So the main thrust of RNG manipulation in this game, if it were to be used, is that it will be used to guarantee specific fights, guarantee specific drops from those fights, so that we can get the aforementioned chips to have 60 by the end of the game. And since we also need enough money to get Mega Man to level 30, then it manipulates Zenny drops as well. But without any of those, it's going to be quite an interesting run.
I didn't move back far enough. But Battle Network 1's tutorial, the third fight, is actually random.
Yes.
You won't know what your chip rows. It is possible to manipulate that, and the manip route does. So we just have to work with what we got. They intend for you to use, that's Mr. Match. Of course, anyone that is a unique sprite, you know they're up to something.
Well, it can't be Mr. Match. He has a nice hat.
That's true.
And this is Battle Network 1's internet. A bunch of circles with thin lines between them. We meet Glide, and he basically says that, hey, one of our programs has gone missing, can you go find it for me? You know, because he's too busy to do it himself.
You'd best get used to the salmon pink background as well, because you're going to be seeing a lot of it in this game.
And another important difference between Battle Network 1 and the other games is that after each fight you are fully healed to whatever your max HP is.
For the same reason though, as the run progresses, we will be seeing that in the later areas, the battles can range from difficult to extremely dangerous. The viruses in the later area comps in this game are extremely powerful.
Mr. Sword, I guess. He's literally all thing here. We don't have to stick to the walls. It's so nice, Method. Yeah. Just watching any specific part of a Battle Network 1 run, you can tell which category they're doing based off their movement. I interact with that access point because it, among many other things, resets your step counter, which reduces the overall number of random encounters you're going to get. And we go talk to that point at the end, because that sets up a trigger to where we can now talk to Dex and challenge him for his access code. Because apparently he's the only one that has access to that section of the internet. Yeah, because it does full heal you, the viruses, there's an expectation that you're going to get hit, so viruses have more health, do more damage, harder to dodge.
And so, unlike the other games in the series as well, it should be apparent that there's no escape option in this game. If you want to get away from the virus encounters, the reason that Tterraj's not running away is that he actually can't without the escape chip. So
I haven't done
in
it
the
once
events
yet.
where he draws an escape chip, I'm sure he will use it, but if not, then you have to actually fight the viruses.
Yeah, which, because we do need 60 unique chips in certain areas, in rare occurrences we will opt to do the fight instead of run from it, but for the most part, no. And this is the first scenario. Basically, Mr. Match was here earlier and he was supposed to be fixing everything, but for some reason our oven caught fire. So what do you think's wrong with the oven on fire? Probably virus. We're gonna have Mega Man go check it out.
It's always a virus.
And this is one of the few actually fixed encounters, where as soon as you step on that spot, you will get into an encounter with one Matar. Also, the color of a mystery data in Battle Network 1 doesn't really mean anything.
So getting shockwaves, as Tterraj was getting there, is definitely one of the more useful chips that you can gain access to early on.
Yeah. And here the oven explodes, we lose contact with Mega Man, so we're gonna go get our water gun to put the fire out.
The electrical fire, yeah.
And no, Mega Man's fine. Oh, finally escaped.
It's good. There you go.
Oi.
That's your first escape, right?
Yeah, not the luckiest start.
Wow, it's rough.
And sometimes you get an encounter with one virus or two. Anything with three is really slow, so you do hope to draw an escape for those.
Which thankfully in Operate Shooting Star, you still have the escape chips, but you can also run away, like in Waterworks 2.
Yeah, it's the best of both. But we're coming up on the first boss, so I'll do like the first folder edit. We're just kind of taking out some less good chips like Recov 10s, which are time stop, and putting in literally anything else, which we've only got 4. That's okay. We're gonna go fight the first boss, which is Fireman. Getting some deja vu from network transmission here.
Not doing Fireman minute Dan's game.
Yeah, it's quite sad. The manip version of this fight is really great. It's super consistent too. You could even do it blindfolded. But
So, sorry, you go.
Fireman's just got a couple attacks that will either stay in the back and lob projectiles, or come to the front and use his flamethrower.
We're also seeing as well that the adding function in this game is actually entirely different compared to the rest of the Battle Network series. You can see there's 15 chips on the custom screen, and you always start with a base of 5, and you don't throw chips away to gain extra. Instead, you basically sacrifice a turn of not using any chips, and it adds an additional 5 that you can then draw on your next turn. And you can do that again the following turn to get a draw of 15. But the effect is not permanent either, so once you take some chips, your hand gets reduced to 5 again.
Which I believe in Operate Shooting Star, they also they reduced that to make it like how it is in Waterworks 2, where you had to sacrifice chips just to use the add button.
I think that's a better way to do the add function. In BN1,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole game is basically just an experiment. Because it was unlike anything else at the time. And that Recov 50L is important because you actually need that to advance the story. And I'm going to go up here I like the little serve bot that Roll has on her shelf there, but we're gonna go grab an HP memory because power-ups are expensive and hard to come by, so we'll be using a lot of power-ups to help augment our level to get to the 30 required.
Yeah, the different power-ups in this game provide different amounts of level ups. A HP memory is 1 extra level. A power-up itself is, I want to say it's 3 extra levels. And a elemental armor is 5.
I forget what the armor, but it is a lot. They're also super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any single segment runs ever bothered to pick up an armor, because we spend our zenny on like chips instead. Nice. So I checked out and back into the phone to reset my step counter since I had to go all the way across, because the encounters in there can be pretty bad, like a triple fishy. Oh, that's it for the first day. And we only had 1 escape chip in our folder at the start, but before we do the second scenario, we're able to pick up 1 from Yai's phone and 1 from the bookshelf there. So now we have 3. So 3 times is likely to draw it, which makes a big difference. I sneak into the back. That girl's like, please don't let today be the day the World 3 takes over. It's like she jinxed it.
She ruined it for everybody.
So we talk to Mal, she gets his roll. Now we're gonna go. So Dex tried to solo it, but unfortunately Gut's been lost. And now we're in the Skull Comps, the second dungeon, which has like the best music.
I can probably agree with that, yeah.
I guess they just wanted to go ahead and get the best song out of the way. It's a bit weird, but... So I considered fighting that because B tanks can drop little bomb. There's 50%. Most of the time you have a 50% chance to get the chip, as long as you have a reasonable rank. Alright, so here I'm going to hope that he jumps to the top. Oh, I misjudged.
Yeah.
The alternative was to wait for him to attack you. Please don't move. Has a 25% chance to get Quake from that fight, which Quake is a pretty good chip, although there's one fixed that we can pick up later. Alright, so the gimmick for this dungeon is that there's all these password doors, and they'll either ask you like a trivia question like how many desks are in class, whatever lands in. It's 9. Those are fixed, so we know those ahead of time. Others are random, and so you have to play like a guessing game.
That's the little bomb.
That's good. I will probably put that in my folder before fighting Number Man, because Number Man is a bit more annoying than Fireman to fight just because of how he works. I want to escape. If I beat the Ghost, there's a 50% chance I get Invis 1, which would be a good chip to have, but Ghosts are tough to fight because... Oh, here's another fixed one. It's 30. But Ghosts are really fast. Very difficult in Battle Network 1. You can't hit them with a cannon. And they attack really quickly, so they're just difficult. And this is one of the random doors. I've got a specific pattern that I go through as far as guessing, and I use the hint, like if it was too high or too low. It says the second digit is too high, too low. second digit has been changed.
That's
Okay.
pretty unlucky, honestly, for it to have taken that long.
Yes. I missed one of the numbers, and so I had some misinformation I was working with. But it can take as much as 6 attempts to get it. And if you fail it 6 times, then it changes one of the digits, but it'll tell you which one. There's no reason for you to get that far, but I made a mistake in entering the second digit. What? Okay. Oh, it was too soon. Actually,
Shotguns, thankfully, are fast enough to hit spookies, so...
Oh,
There you
I
go.
did get a double hit with the wide sword. I thought I'd missed it. So that wasn't so bad. And here's something interesting happens. Mega Man gets stuck on the net. And so you have a rough idea of where he is. So you're actually going to go into the real world location, find that this computer's frozen, and then when you restart it, that fixes Mega Man from the trap that he was in. So I kind of like how they mirror the cyber world and the real world for this scenario.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice touch.
Ah, that's a good one. So there's a quirk with this area where after you get the number, if you go to a menu, it resets your step counter. Can't explain why that happens, but it does. So we're able to go pick up that blue mystery data and avoid random encounters, similar to how Battle Network 4 No Encounters was run earlier. We get to the end, so now we need an ID card. And I'm going to grab Repair. Again, working towards that 60 library count. And then our teacher's been tied up in the storage closet. So we're going to save her. She gives us her ID card. And we're going to pick up an HP min.
To the stand in front of the principal's office.
Okay, that wasn't so bad then. So yeah,
Oh,
we
it's already
saved
fixed.
Miss Murray, and now we talk to that terminal, and we're entering a passcode to get to Number Man. What's Higsby's goal? He really likes rare chips, and World 3 just promised him rare chips. They basically just bought him off.
He isn't really evil per se, he's just extremely gullible.
And with that, it goes straight into the Number Man fight. And what's annoying here is that he hides in the back row. So I'm going to add, if you can only take one chip, it's sometimes worth it to add, because then you can take 3. Worst case scenario, odds are good you can take 2, and so you break even.
Ideally, if you've managed to pick up Quakes by this point, that's what you want to see. But if you don't get those, what you really cannot fight Number Man with are the sword chips that Tterraj has taken. They're good for breaking the number balls, but since Number Man never leaves the back row, you can't actually hit him with swords at all. You can area grab, that takes a while.
Sometimes you just have to take chips to cycle through your folder. Oh gosh.
These draws are terrible.
Yeah.
So it may be easy to see with this why we really preferred RNG manipulation once it became practical.
Yeah, there's just so many fights in this game that can be very bad depending on your chip draw. And since what chips you get are random, like, you're pretty weak in Battle Network 1. You don't have a lot of things to work with like you do in the later games. Most of the program advances are pretty bad, so you can't do that. In Battle Network 2, you can't run, there's no number trader, just a whole lot of stuff. Minute 18. Goodness.
So just as a point of reference, how long would you expect that fight to take if you were manipulating?
There's parity, so there's like a fast number man and a slow number man. I think the fast number man is like 16 seconds, and the slow number man is 20 seconds.
So it's a big difference, in other words.
It's huge. Woodman is pretty tough, especially at the higher levels. He's got a lot of HP and he moves really quick for as big as he is.
And he can recover himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you should be able to manage the tree. It does distract you from attacking him, which is essentially the same as healing. Although, you know, he's got nothing on Sharkman. Normally after manip you do something different, and so I forgot for a second where I needed to go next, but since we've already been to Mail's house, we just go talk to this guy, we get an email, and now we can go fight Dex. I don't have anything else to put in. You have to have Rika 50L for him to challenge you. He's like, I'll fight you for that chip. And then if you beat him, you get his access code. Gutsman's a bit more random than he is in Battle Network 2. In 2, if you're in the front, he really likes to come hit you. But in 1, sometimes he just does shockwave instead. Also in 2, he won't crack the panels unless you're not in the front row. But here, sometimes he will anyway.
Still a little early to go to bed.
I'm tired. But now that we have Dex's access code, we can go to Internet Area 2, because we want to go visit our dad, who is in, I forget the name of the area. Government Complex. But the train's not running, and the train is connected to Internet Area 2, so we're going to go see if we can search on the internet and figure out what's wrong with the train, why it's not running. 100% speedruns. All but 4 and 6 have been done. So, Method, I believe that's your job. Battle Network 1, 100% has been done. 2, 4 stars has been done. 3, 7 stars has been done multiple times. And 5, all icons has been done once. But 6 and 4 have never been done in any sort of high percent category.
And since Method runs both 4 and 6, that's all him.
Exactly. It's like, I did my 4 games, now he can do his 2.
Method, go work on it.
You've had like a couple years to find your notes. Any luck yet? So here I'm going to try and use Shockwave. Now this should... let's open it with double hit. Sorties are scary in this game because they basically have like a hero sword range. It attacks all 3, unlike in 2 where it's short to a longsword range. But I did
Nice
get
longsword,
longsword S for it. I have wide sword S. I could technically do the program advance, but program advances in this game are really bad. So we're not going to do that. Dang. Oh, they're all P-coded. P sword height. Hardheads are really annoying to deal with because they attack kind of quickly. They don't have a tail like they do in later versions. And then the fire guy is just very defensive. So this is Stone Man. He's in the back just like Number Man. His thing though is he doesn't flinch. We haven't really mentioned it, but bosses in this game have a very low flinch threshold. If you do 30 damage to Fireman, he'll flinch. Number Man I think is the same. Stone Man though, it's significantly higher. Like I don't even know if he does flinch. Maybe if you do like 400 damage or something. The problem with some of the older 100% runs is back when Twitch didn't know how to archive videos. So parts of them are missing. We just need to be redone, honestly. Mr. Dragoon, old school Battle Network 1 runner, died to Stone Man once because whenever he spawns those rock cubes, he can spawn them anywhere. So if you're like moving to a panel where it's going to spawn, oh, I forgot about the lasers. You can run into it and take a considerable amount of damage from it.
How much damage do the rock cubes do you know?
When they spawn on you, I don't know. It's like it's a non-trivial amount, but it's also small enough that you can not worry about it too much. Oh, the lasers are also actually his hands, which you like through underground. Cool, so fix that, and I have the Zinni for it. I forgot to grab a power-up on the way. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, because I don't think we're going back to this area anytime soon. It'll be nice to have. I did Method, which is why I'm going back to get one right now. As alphabet soupy as your folder is, buster power-ups are really good for adding consistency to your busting power.
Yeah, the Mega Buster in this game is actually fairly good against a lot of viruses. What you'll typically see is pumping points into just pure power so that you can destroy enemies exponentially faster.
I've had pretty high encounter rates so far and pretty below average escape luck. gonna get these two. And now we've got 2 power-ups we can use, and we can go visit Dad, who will give us a 3rd power-up. And then we'll just use all 3 of those before we go to bed. So now we can use the metro station. And it's slightly faster to buy the tickets ahead of time if you know exactly where you're going, because it's a little less walking. I'm gonna go into this TV here and get another escape chip, so we'll have 4. Which is only 5 you can really get access to in the room, so well, that helps out a lot. We're able to get most of them pretty early on. Whoops. So if you just tell the receptionist that you're Dr. Hikari's son, she'll send you straight up to his lab. I guess it helps that Lan has that bandana, but still. I'm gonna go into Dad's computer and take his High Cannon J. Hopefully he won't be needing that. And Dad's not here, so we're just gonna poke around on his PC.
His government PC.
Yeah. Well, talk to this prog and leave him a message, and then we'll go borrow his Twitter handle @Dad. Be very useful later. You know, as often as we make that joke, I don't think I've ever went to see who actually has @Dad. Is it in use? In
It's
active Twitter?
A home repair company, I think?
it's a business, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, helping with home repair, impartial advice, and affordable quotes for the best home repair experts via free video call. Download the app, dad.co/app.
Wow.
Wonderful. And with that, we go to bed.
Alright, so now we begin the next day, and someone has turned off all of the water. It's really had an adverse effect on some people.
Like, this kid can't run in straight lines anymore.
It's a struggle. Yes, I did BN5 all icons. That one is more recent, so it should be all together, hopefully. Which, if you go to like my Twitch page, I have a panel that links to Personal Best, which has most of the runs linked there. I forget if that one was actually ever submitted to the leaderboards, so we'll have to find out.
I believe it was, but I'll go check.
Maybe. Needs to be improved anyway. It was a first run. A fair amount of preparation did go into it, but it was also the first time that I ever did Liberation 7, 8, and 9. So I just did those blind, which is fun, but could be faster. Speedrun.com. We mostly use the Mega Man leaderboards. It's a bit confusing.
So the Battle Network series does have SR combos now.
It does, so we could have it on both, but it's just a matter of someone updating both of them. Special guest appearance from Nightman. I forgot about that. That was so weird. Do either of you guys remember Nightman just showing up randomly? I'm gonna guess no.
I'm sorry, no.
It was weird. So we talked to Freud, again, unique NPC amongst all these others, and he says, oh, don't worry, we have everything under control here at the Waterworks. So we're just going to go into their control panel and take Recov 200 and a bunch of Zenny. I'm sure they won't mind. I'm going to use a silent lady. And actually, Mega Man is suspicious of that guy. So based off Mega Man's prodding, we're going to go hide out in our dad's lab and wait for everyone to leave so we can poke around the Waterworks.
I do like to think that all this, like, taking of Zenny is what Bitcoin is eventually going to become. That'd be nice.
Yeah. You just go around, log in, it's like, oh, I'm just going to borrow some of your Bitcoins. Like, come on. Land's literally a thief. So we try to jack in to the Waterworks, and someone actually shows up and says, hey kid, what are you doing? But then we're like, nothing, and they leave. So, but the Waterworks has been frozen over. Oh yeah, shop. Could have bought a luck blade. We'll put in, shoot, like 5 chips. We got plenty. So the gimmick here is that there's ice everywhere and you slide across it, so you sometimes have to go kind of like back and forth to get where you want to go.
Yeah, for the most part in this game, movement isn't often a huge factor, but there is actually like an element of platforming technique in this dungeon. There's one section of the dungeon later on with a huge room which is meant to be done in multiple segments, but there's actually a skip that can be used with a very precise placement.
Yeah, it's a 4-pixel window. Or 2 if you run. It's a weird gimmick there. So, we have 4 escapes in the folder. We want to run from most fights, but getting Tri-Arrow there is nice. I'm actually going to just go ahead and put that in. And sure, Aqua Tower. Because those are both like high damage ships. Often I can only take 1 ship anyway, so may as well be a good ship. Like this will kill 1 of them. So the water hitbox is kind of weird. Prism's got a highlight that shows it as well, where Iceman just walks out of the attack, calls it dry ice.
Getting pretty good chip drops here, I've got to say.
Yeah, so far the drops in this particular section have been pretty good. Proto makes a brief appearance here. That's where we meet him for the first time. Oh, there's also some good dialogue, but oh well, we'll see it later. And here we turn the water on and then back off, which melts the ice and lets us get through to the next area. And then for some reason that graphic for the frozen pipes is different. I don't know why they felt that was necessary, but it's cool. We're gonna take a little detour over here to pick up Ice Punch, just another chip for the library. It's got the same range limitation that Sword does, so we won't be using it. Now, if you're playing Operate Shooting Star, it's a different story. Which, Chaotic, would you care to, since we're just going to the Waterworks, talk about the difference in Operate Shooting Star, which was the DS kind of port with additional features that only came out?
Well, the way I jokingly say, it's essentially BN1 with all the mechanics from BN2 onwards, minus having minus regging chips, of course, because there's no reg memory in this game. But like I said before, you still have escape chips, but you can also run away from battles, which is extremely helpful for those later more difficult battles that Tterraj's probably going to be doing. The most important one is a Lekman stage isn't a chore to do anymore, because not only do you have a map on your bottom screen, the paths also light up. So not only can you not get lost, but if you somehow do, the path is like lit up right there.
Yeah, so casually it's a lot nicer. I don't know if they name the viruses. They probably do. They definitely name the areas. That's all I can remember specifically.
They actually named Undermat, so there's that. I don't remember if we got virus names on the top right screen. I want to say no, but I haven't played Operate Shooting Star in a while.
And this is the other annoying thing about the ghost viruses, that they can heal, and they can also heal other viruses, I believe.
Yeah. So later on they can be really bad. Bubbler's a good chip to get, especially against the final boss Magic Man. Now there's what do I do a little save here? This is a single segment, so I'm not gonna reset, but I'm just gonna try and do a little thing. Don't mind me.
Oh.
I'm like 1 pixel away. Make that 2 pixels. Oh, we got it.
It's gotta be it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So yeah, we're just stuck. Everything's fine. I forgot something in the internet, so we're just gonna go grab it real quick, and we're good. So we fixed the Waterworks. We skipped a cutscene where Mega Man basically just used his buster to shoot the thing until it started working again. I forget if I think Lan actually slots in heater or something.
So what actually happened there is that that was a trick that was discovered during the development of the TAS of this game by Bag of Magic Food, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tara, but it's basically a case of if you pause on the frame that you would otherwise enter the fight, well, like a script sequence there, it won't take place until you get out of the menu. So if you go into, I believe it's 2 menus, it causes some type of cutscene skip or event skip.
Yes, if you pause onto the area, which is a trigger for loading a cutscene, and the cutscene has a fight attached to it, if you enter the menu twice, you skip the cutscene, the game gets confused about its state. And since the cutscene gets skipped and the fight was attached to it, you also skip the fight. Oh,
And yes, drinking the purple drink makes you very, very sick.
Grape soda.
I mean, I guess it's kind of worth it because it's also delicious.
It was so delicious it made him pass out.
And now, Lan being a bully, he's gonna remove the grape soda and put back water so people won't get knocked out.
He's taking away the purple drink from everyone.
He's ruining it for everybody.
And there's some movie about like a future where they replace water with basically Gatorade, and it causes plants to not grow.
I don't know.
That sounds both weird but interesting.
The plot
Yeah, I'd watch
was the super average guy was put in some sort of time capsule, and the group that was supposed to maintain that kind of went out of business. So he stayed in there instead like for 10 years, for 1,000 years, and he came out into a future where everyone had gotten so reliant on technology that they couldn't take care of any problems, and because of the corporation of it, they spread like sports drinks and soft drinks and stuff to the point to where it replaced water, and then anyway, it was an interesting movie. Damn. If I hadn't got the encounter, I was going to interact with the faucet because it's one of several things that resets your step counter. The Waterworks is kind of split into two. The first area we've been through before, but this second area is different. And we couldn't advance before previously. You might have saw him out of the corner of the screen, but Color Man was here. And he basically took one of the handles, so we weren't able to advance. But we got that back because we saved Freud's son. He's the Waterworks guy that we talked to earlier. So now we can turn this off and go forward. It's encounter right though. Okay.
Have you gotten a little cloud chip yet?
I don't think so. But it's only going to be a 25% chance drop. These guys, the first time you hit them, they jump up. Their hitbox is weird. You can hit them as they're descending, but as soon as they start jumping, they're just gone. I got like 3 tri-arrows. Which, I mean, it's a good ship. Bubbler, M Cannon, Aqua Tower. I'm not helping my alphabet soup situation, but these are some pretty good ships. It's possible to slide off, so you gotta be a little careful there, but I hit the corner so I slid straight to the diagonal. I can't take rolls though. Dang. I was trying to get a double hit, because the Aqua Tower lingers, so if 2 of them have moved on to it. But I guess it's better than all 3 of them dodging, which is another possibility. So many tri-arrows. That's kind of crazy. Half my folder is going to be tri-arrow. Oh! Okay, so this is the area. If you go stand on this thing... Well, it's single segment, I can't reset anyway. And you slide up like that, you can get across the area and get a power-up. They expect people to fall off, so they do lots of walking here, so this has a different encounter curve than the others. And basically, if you do that skip, you can get to that faucet before you get even the first encounter check. So ideally, there's a 0% chance for an encounter here.
That was basically the skip that I was referring to earlier, yeah.
But with Battle Network 1, you can have 10 of any specific chip in your folder. So I'm going to put those extra tri-arrows in here in a bit.
And it is absolutely any chip, isn't it? The game doesn't make any distinction even with Navi chips, I believe.
I think you can have 5 Navi chips.
Oh, okay. But
Same,
there is
yeah.
no such thing as like mega chips or giga chips in this game.
Correct.
Same with BN2.
That didn't start until 3. So you can have 10 of any one chip or 5 of any one Navi chip. 5 Navi chips total, but it can be the same one 5 times. Also kind of random, but this blue mystery data here is only in the English version. It's got 1,000 zenny in it. For some reason it wasn't in the Japanese version. Don't know why.
Yeah, the duplicate limit for chips in the folder is 10 in this game, but in OSS it got nerfed to 5.
Yeah, they fixed it. Well, fix. 2 more. So, with single segment, technically, if you die, it's no longer single segment, but because it's a marathon and we want to finish, if we do die, we'll just change the category to any percent. Yeah. That's some pretty good damage, mostly just because of the buster. Rude. So he'll kick ice blocks at you. Alright, so hopefully he'll put up some more ice blocks. And then when he does, hit him with tram. Or I guess just buster him down. That's why we put everything into attack, just because especially at point blank you can shoot it so quickly. Right, Mail sends us an email. Oh, this is the future of email. You're going to write your email response and then Mega Man's going to hand deliver it to Roll. That's how email's going to work. Mechguard A. Actually, that's a new chip, isn't it?
I think it is actually, yeah.
So if I try and pick this up, it's Rico 50L, which is what we got earlier. If you don't have Rico 50L, that GMD will always drop it. But if you have it, it says you can't decode it, which is interesting. It's how they make sure that you have access to certain chips. And you have to go into the metro line and then back out. Mail says that, sorry, I'm going to be late. You have to go to Dintown by yourself. So you take the metro line. She takes the bus for some reason. I don't know. This whole section is kind of weird. And Len just gets tons of emails. It's our second one. Third one. Oh, actually... So you can get this later, because we have to come back to this classroom for a key item later on. I'm just going to go ahead and grab it now. Because you get the barrier, which is nice, but we also get power-up in this blackboard comp. However, this blackboard comp is quite dangerous. Marco can attest to that.
Alright, this is where you sabotaged him. I mean, told him where to go.
But unfortunately, we didn't get an encounter, so we got the power-up for free, now we can leave.
The viruses in that comp are, how we say, quite powerful.
Unexpectedly, too. Like, compared to everything else in this area, they're just like a tier above.
Aren't there the Dynamite series viruses in there?
Yes.
Yep.
I think it's Dynamite 3, too, which is, like, just completely random. It's like, we'll put the
In other
strongest one here.
So in other words, Terra will die in one hit.
Yes. Which I was doing a practice round of Battle Network 1 a while ago, and I did indeed die in one hit. I don't know what I have left of A or B. So we got 2 left, so I'll put those in charge. Now I got 4 attack, 3 charge, I'll get 1 more and I'll put it in attack. I'll check her email, talk to Mail, she gives us roll 2, which I don't really care about. And then save to save, and this is it's like an optional person, but they give us a key item that you need in order to access an area to beat the game. So, it's a non-optional optional fight. And then someone started talking about shortcuts. There's 2 levels. There's the green and the red, and it does 8 times and 16 times, which is just easy multiplication for bit shifting, which I think is why they did it, rather than like the times 5 and whatever that you'd think would make more sense. Skull Man does a lot of damage, and he throws his arms and they just kind of spin around, and then sometimes he throws his head at you. I don't know, this guy's weird. If you flinch, make him flinch, he drops his arms. So we get slash Mew. And now we can begin the scenario proper. We get over here, which is the meeting point. This is where the bus is supposed to drop her off. But something happens. Now, it's weird. All of the lights are green. And World 3 is selling a car antivirus for 1 million zenny. And since all the cars are crashing, the people are going to go buy it. Because they don't want their car to crash. Because apparently all cars are automated now. Which, as scary as that thought can sound, car automation I think is a good thing for the future, and it'll be statistically safer than human drivers. The gimmick here, which they start you off kind of really easy, is whenever you cross one of those orbs, it changes the lighting. Quick 3 is something we picked up earlier, and it's an incredibly powerful chip because it does 150 damage in a cross shape. So I'll just destroy almost anything. But whenever you cross, it switches which one you can walk on. So you can kind of do tricks like that to get across these areas. It's like red light, green light, or red light, blue light.
Because that's what they do in Japan.
And then here's where World 3 is selling the car thing. But it's funny, if you talk to this person, they'll pay double or triple. You tell her to come down and she's like, oh, that's right, I don't even have a driver's license. So she doesn't need one because she can't drive.
And apparently it is still necessary to have a driver's license when cars are automated in the future.
That is an interesting question going forward. Wonder how that's gonna... That's a problem for future society, I guess.
I guess if something happens where you have to manually drive. But with that logic, you wouldn't need the repair system that she's selling to begin with. BN's weird.
So some of these color shifting puzzles can be a little tricky. Like, the area itself is quite linear, but the individual puzzles can be a little confusing if you don't actually know the solutions to them.
So the virus on the back is pretty scary. It's a jellyfish. And he shoots out waves that do a lot of damage. And you have a 1-frame window to dodge them.
So it's easy.
Yeah. 1 frame, 60 FPS. Super consistent. Which, his chip, red wave, or the blue one, regular wave, it's pretty good. Alright, and there's the fifth and final escape. So, naturally, we don't draw it though.
So 1/6 of your folder is escape now, right?
That sounds like math. I'm just gonna agree.
It's 30 chips in the folder, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
There you go. I am right then.
I believe you are. So we found the runaway bus. Or now have we? Sorry, Charlie. But at this point, Mail's on the runaway bus because she didn't take the metro. I don't know, maybe it was cheaper. So now we're going to each individual intersection to turn the lights to red to try and stop the bus. And if the bus like slows down, it's supposed to explode, kind of like in that one movie.
That's Die Hard, right?
I think so. I saw half of it on TV once. Oh.
And that would be the joke, Eternal Love. Thank you.
Yeah. Like they gave no effort to the internet, but they really focused on the dungeons, giving each one a unique look.
Yeah. Like, the dungeon puzzles in this game in particular are honestly pretty involved. Like, the next major dungeon that we'll find next is the power plant comp, and casually speaking, it is a bit of a nightmare to navigate.
Indeed. So I kind of face tanked that because the wave chip follows you, so if I'd moved up to dodge, it also would have moved up and missed the Matak, probably. I don't know the specific timing on that, so just to be on the safe side. That wave does like 100 damage, I think. It's pretty tough, but there's Fire Tower. I missed the end of the CX presentation. Hey, look, all of my escapes.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Did the Chrono X devs give any indication when Demo 5 would release?
I believe they said something along the lines of before September. If Game Maker doesn't, you know, screw up, and if it does, then past September. Again, I could be remembering wrong, but
Okay, so later this year, probably.
just give it another 5 years. We're good.
Did you clip the escapes, or is that something else?
And I believe this is the same comp where I died in my signal segment run.
It's not a difficult comp to die in, to be fair.
Most of these are not difficult. It's like, if you take enough hits, because all these things do a lot of damage. I guess specifically, I'd say power plant would be the most likely place to die of any.
Yeah, I'd agree. The Zapring viruses are a little unfair.
Yeah. Especially the
Ring zap
tier
even.
3 ones. Ah, I threw that too early.
Close.
So there's a brief window where one finishes his attack and the other one prepares to attack.
Yeah, the enemies, the Meteors specifically in this game that hide under their shells, they don't have an invincibility animation like they do in the later games, but they do still gain invincibility when they're hiding.
Multiplayer is supposed to be on Demo 5, yes.
Yeah, OSS made it a little bit less bad, but the Mr. Progs are still ruthless nonetheless.
I don't think I've got Dino Wave yet. Okay. Nah, Dino Wave.
Nice call.
Dino Wave is a good chip for Color Man. So we'll
Dino Wave's just a good chip in general, really, because it has a very high damage output in BN1 and it's very fast as well.
This is true. Like, at some point, I want to take my manipulation knowledge and do a casual playthrough, and my folder is just going to be like 10 Dino Wave S's. So here you can see Lan outruns the bus.
I mean, he is on rollerblades.
That's true. And we have been slowly damaging the bus somehow. Because it keeps getting caught in the light. This one's split into 4 because you're turning each slide off individually. But the nice thing is that each time you do that, it resets your step counter. Give me Fire Sword.
No.
I mean, I did say please, so... Alright, so we've trapped the bus, and it's supposed to explode, but it didn't, because Roll's on there and she's fighting off Color Man. 4, 5. Got 5 more chips to take out. Oh, I had Longsword in there? The program events. I sort by ID just to make me feel better. It's not faster. I guess maybe if you're editing the folder it helps, but... So now Color Man. He's a pretty annoying boss. And we're gonna start off with 2 escapes. I'll just grab my Mega Cannon.
I mean, to be fair, the concept that Mega Man could have done all that in that short space of time is believable enough if you just consider that time is probably not passing inside the networks like it is in the real world.
And I like to think that and tend to agree with it. The only issue with that is then what about the fact Lan is operating and sending all these battleships?
That's true, yeah.
So that breaks that synchronization. But I guess they don't try too hard on the realism aspect.
Or the bus driver could be extremely generous to just stop.
Oh, I thought he'd moved out of frame. Ah, good old Quake 3. So that was actually a pretty reasonable Color Man fight for a single segment. Because since he hides in the back, it's hard to get a lot of stuff to deal with him. Although, we do have a pretty good folder. So we went shopping for a souvenir for Yai's birthday, and this is the only opportunity you have to give it to her, and in exchange you get 10,000 Zoni. Let's swing by and actually buy a couple things before we go to the next scenario. No, not that one. Elect sword, fast gauge. And then I think we need more Zoni, so we'll come back for the rest later. Hey Glenn. Oh, we picked up Tree Dentures, so if you talk to this guy, he appreciates you and gives you Recav ADG. Wait a second. I forgot to go talk to Mom. Talk to Mom, everybody. Wait, no. Oh. I forgot. You don't do this in the manip route. We were able to cut it out, which is nice, because it's a big detour. But if you go over here and talk to Freud, from this point forward, he thanks you for helping him, so he gives you the World 3 pen, which gives us access to all the skull doors. Actually, does manip skip it? It does, right? Probably does.
I'm fairly certain that it does, yeah. I don't remember seeing that in the manip route runs.
Hello, SS. So you go talk to this guy. He basically sets up the plot, and then you talk to Chad, and he disappears, and then your dad shows up. And you talk to this guy. You talk to your dad and he disappears, and you talk to Mom. Talk to everyone else, Chad, who's being really suspicious. Enjoy this party while you still can. And then the power goes out. So you try and get on, and this guy says, "What are you, crazy? You'll delete your navy. The power's out, but we're still able to use the computers." PET batteries? I don't know. Something. Plot.
So there are quite a few gimmicks actually involved in this comp. The viruses, as mentioned before, are pretty powerful. There's a lot of Mr. Progs walking around. Not all of them are genuine. Like, some of them are corrupted and will fight you if you interact with them. And they can be very strong. You also have the battery meter in the top right, which does drain as you progress through the area, so you're on sort of a time limit, but you do get refills of it. There is the battery packs that you need to pick up and put into slots to generate extra walkways, and there's the fact that all these walkways are disconnected and there are invisible connecting walkways between them all. So there's a lot going on in this area, and the fact that you have a pseudo time limit that you're working against makes this really stressful casually.
That, and I believe this is the comp that introduces the worst status effect in Battle Network 1, Thunder.
True.
Yes.
Because it isn't like in other Battle Network games where you just get paralyzed for a couple seconds. It's much worse here, where every time you move, I believe you take I don't know the set amount, but you take chip damage every time you move.
And then there's a grid with the batteries, and you just have to try each one. And I think their idea was that if you got the wrong one, you turn it off, take it out, put it in a different one. And if you run out of charges, you go back and recharge it. But in reality, most people are just going to save, turn it on, and if it's not the right one, reset, and try a different one.
Yeah, because the fact that the batteries only have 2 charges each before you need to go and get them refueled is a huge nuisance.
And some of the...
If you're trying to guess which ones they are.
Yeah, and some of the puzzles have a bunch of boxes. Oh, poor Eurasia. He did it legit. This is like one of those dungeons where you have to think back and you're like, how did I do this when I was much younger?
Yeah. With the battery recharge mechanic, your own PET battery, do you know if there is actually a limit of how many times you can charge it, or does the game basically try and make you think you're on a time limit?
There's probably no limit. If it runs out, you can recharge it, and I don't think there's like, if it runs out again, you probably just recharge it again. I don't know if anyone's ever tested that. They probably have, but...
Okay, Jugger says you can recharge it as many times as you want.
I believe that. But has anyone actually sat down and tried to recharge their battery 500 times? Hopefully not. Is there a video of OSS versions of the stage anywhere? I think there's the OSS category on the speedrun leaderboards, so you could go watch a speedrun of it.
I mean, it should be up on YouTube since I have that on my YouTube channel.
Search for OSS speedrun. I'll probably get you better results than anything else. Like here, there's like a 3x3, and the only hint that you get, but they give you this hint like a whole bunch of times, is that the batteries will never be adjacent to each other. So as long as you know what adjacent means, you can narrow down some of the possibilities, but only after you figure you get one right.
As a kid, I did not know what that means, though.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I just save scummed this part because I didn't understand what that meant.
Wow, that was the wrong one. Okay. I think they're both gonna move in the... Oh no, they probably would have both moved forward. See, the Remo bit like stays in the back and breaks your panels, and then these guys encroaches on your area. Like, the virus combos. This area you're distant. And that was Turn Prog Mark 1. The V3 versions, even the V2 versions, move much faster, and after a certain number of moves, they area grab. So you have plenty of time with the V1 version.
Oh, here we go.
Alright, this might double hit. No.
Ah, almost.
Should delay slightly. Yeah, see, so he attacks twice and then steals. I don't know if you can bait them out and have them not steal. Like if you move forward. I've never really tried to counter their steal because they're just terrifying.
The one saving grace with the rings up enemies, though, is that they also do damage themselves slightly every time they attack, but it's not a very substantial amount either.
Well, this is a fan. They're not really scary. What's chip count on? I don't actually know. This is dangerous area, I should probably save anyway, so...
Is there a point where you'll check your chip count so that you know how much you need to buy?
No, I just buy all of them for 39. Because like we have, there's a Zenny route, so there's like a certain amount of chips that we can buy, and unless I get one of the chips that I would otherwise buy, I always buy as many as I can, because I haven't done many runs of single segments, but more often than not you need all of the chips that you buy. I don't really have a contingency plan for it's like I don't have enough chips or skip this one. Optimally you would, but since the advent of RNG minip, optimizations for single segment have been dropped.
You need 60 chips by the end of the game, SS.
So you can see those batteries are fully drained now. Unfortunately, goes down first. There were two things that stood in the way of a fully RNG manipulated route. One of them was Number Man, and this area was the other one, because to control your step counter but still interact with all of these battery boxes is very difficult.
Yeah, because the hitboxes on each of these battery boxes, they're not actually square-shaped as they look. They do have like rounded edges somewhat, so you need very precise placement to actually run against them without slipping.
Yeah. And so we actually had to incorporate pause buffered turns in order to get them, and then just take advantage of the quirks of the movement system to somehow manage to make that consistent. Because there's a whole bunch of just mid-air turns that don't use corners. Give me Rainbow Bit. Hey! How nice. Now I don't have to go pick up Rainbow. Rainbow Bit's one of the chips that there's a really out-of-the-way BMD you can go grab. But, no, I don't have to. This area has the most potentially dangerous encounters, so. It's also one of the shortest because there's only one battery puzzle. Granted, it has 12 slots, but we know which ones are right, so. I moved too soon. So the tornado will actually move backwards to get you. Hey, look, Typhoon again. That's G-coded. Does GMD appear in this game? Battle Network 1 has all the mystery data, but the color doesn't really mean anything. It has random mystery data and it has fixed mystery data. What a dodge. Oh, you like the GMD emotes? Alright, we did it. We survived the power plants. So we've got access to the end, which opened up this other door, so we can go in here now. And Len's like, how come the power's on in this room? That's weird. And this switch is all electric. Suspicious. Oh. Do we have anything good to put in? Water ton. Oh, right. I wanted to put these in before I went.
Yeah, fast gauge can be pretty useful.
That's a little funny. Or did I just put in a spreader? That's not fast gauge. And then we'll just leave the others out. I think our folder's good enough. So now we fight a like man. He's really difficult. Literally can't even damage him. So he's drawing power from the generator. So land's gonna do a thing. And he's fine.
Because that's safe.
Like man moves 5 times. Oh.
Oh wow.
Smart.
Nice troll. So yeah, that's a problem because the shockwave attacks cannot pass over broken panels.
Probably just use charge shot. Yeah, but with the Like Man defeated, Proto Man shows up and says, "This was actually a trap. We were going to capture a Like Man, and you ruined it, so now we're going to fight you instead." That's the kind of guy he is. Although this Proto Man is the easiest of all the Proto Mans ever. Why is the Buster so strong? It is pretty reasonable, but it's like they. Oh right. Oh my gosh. He moved after hitting me. I didn't expect that.
He moved because you tried to hit him after using his attack.
Maybe. That's me. Oh, that was awkward.
The easiest Proto Man in Battle Network.
Yeah, yeah.
His movement pattern is very simple, but the damage that he deals is incredibly high. Like you just saw, Proto Man deals 200 damage per hit. If he just moves up to you without charging, he's about to use a hero sword, and if he does a charge shot, then he's about to use a wide sword. That was a quicker Like Man that time, though.
Yeah. Pretty good surprise there. Alright, I'm not gonna talk this time, I'll just pay attention to him.
All you really need to watch for is whether he's using a charge attack or not.
Yes. And then move correctly. Oh. My Buster does more damage than it did last time, so it causes him to flinch. There we go. Yes, so technically saving and then dying, restarting, it's not really single segment, but that's the danger of running this in a marathon, I guess.
You might as well just RNG manipulate from here on out then, right?
If I even had the setup for it. But so now it's kind of like the main part of the story is done. All of the dungeons are kind of taken care of. From this point forward, it's trying to figure out where the World 3 is located and exploring more of the internet. That's no different than single segment SS, because whether you die or not, like that's still, I guess it's not a reset, but it has the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I guess it just becomes any percent at that point.
Yeah, technically. Like, the categories for Battle Network 1 and 2 are tough because I don't want, like, running the game without doing RNG manipulation is very different, and doing the RNG manipulation, there's a lot of negative stuff about it. You have to memorize a lot of things, you have to do specific folder edits, and so I want to encourage people to do both, because sometimes one's not fun for people, one category or the other, but it's difficult to distinguish between the two in any sort of way.
I just personally wish that people wouldn't refer to the category as no RNG manipulation, because that's an incoherent term to me.
That's the intention, but yeah. I don't remember where to go next. So we go talk to the only World 3 operative we know. A guy with excellent hair.
And excellent ships. And so at this point we are essentially just trying to gain information on the World 3 server. So yes, since Higgsby is the only World 3 guy we know, he's able to give us a lead, a bit of a start, and we have to go through a chain of events to essentially infiltrate the ranks of X World 3 members and gain increasing clearance into the World 3 areas.
Yeah, like I think in single segment, or like if you're doing no manipulation, casual, not the right, when you're learning it, it's difficult. You might die in a few places, especially on Magic Man is one particular fight. Ooh, that went way too fast. So
you beefed it.
Kind of the issue is that if you were to save and then die on Magic Man, then run back into it, you would get different RNG, and if that happened multiple times, you would start to see a pattern, and you would unintentionally do very basic rudimentary RNG manipulation. Still haven't finished single segment. It is hard to do, because technically this run didn't. We did a race.
Sorry.
Oh, we did a race at one point with single segment. I think 4 people participated and 1 finished. So yeah,
that sounds about right, to be honest.
One was sabotaged, the other 2 died.
27, and we got 1 more power up. I think 30 is right. I'll buy. Check my zoning. I don't think I have enough.
30 is right, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, just, yeah.
Trust me.
I actually don't remember what OSS does for this, because if I recall, they removed the level system because of Shooting Star Rockman.
Is it just library count then?
I believe it's library count, but I don't remember the second requirement.
I think so too. I have a note somewhere that says how exactly it works. Well, has an idea of how it works, but they removed armor, right? Is what they did?
Did they?
It was
one or the other. They removed something. Just to be safe, I'll just say it's armor, because I legitimately do not know if it's levels or armor.
Yeah, markers got the armor. Because there's still armor, or there's still levels. You for sure still get levels. They just got rid of the armor because they needed to use that interface hookup for the Star Force Mega Man switching. And so they just...
he just replaced his armor?
Yeah. And so instead of having armors give levels, they just spread it over library completion.
What you would like to see against the hardhead enemies as well is you can also get howitzer, but it's a pretty uncommon ship.
Yeah, it can drop, has a 3% drop chance at rank 9, 25 at rank 10, and then 50 at S rank. So the Manipurate actually picks one up because you can trade howitzer for like Buster Punch, and so it's like a 2-for-1. Like a cooldown after using the buster, so I couldn't get the chip off in time.
Well, the extra defense isn't that big of a loss, system error, because Shooting Star Rockman also has a shield, and he can also lock on.
I'd say it's a worthwhile trade. They also made Ice Punch do a lot more damage for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know. They changed it from 80 to 150.
Elemental weakness. That really gets underutilized. So this is where we use Muse Link, which is why she's a non-optional optional enemy. Ooh,
Yeah, they also nerfed several Navi chips. They also nerfed the Gut Shoot PA in Operate Shooting Star 2. So it's more like BN3s where it does 300 damage.
Yeah, so our Buster does 5 damage now, a half charge will do 40, and a full charge will do 80. That's pretty good. The charge could be a little faster, but considering we only put 2 points into it, it's quite usable.
In general, with the Buster, speed is an almost useless stat for the Buster, since if you're not at speed 5, it like rapidly drops off as distance increases anyway, but by the same token, if you are right next to an enemy, you can rapid fire even at speed 1, and you can still speed up the firing process by moving back and forth between panels.
Yep. So speed really is kind of useless until you get a special kind of end of the game bonus.
Oh yeah.
That sets your speed high enough to where it unlocks you really. You can fire the Buster every other frame at any distance. So that one's kind of nice. And yeah, it's like a lot of the tier 3 viruses in Battle Network 1 are very mean. Like the Flappies move quickly, all the ghosts move quickly.
Because the TAS does not fight the life virus, but I can only assume that if it did, it would
There's
kill
a
it
video
very
that
quickly.
demonstrates it.
Ah, okay. I assume the Buster kills it very quickly.
Yeah, I forget what all they use. Oh my gosh. Like, those are handy 2s. They got 200 health, which is a lot, but handy 3s have 300 health. So it gets to a point where it's just a random encounter can have 3 viruses totaling at 900 HP. Oh yeah, Tri-Lance. Alright, let's put in these 2 per something. Oh my gosh. This is a kind of a ridiculous folder.
And yes, just wait and see, because the aforementioned life virus skip is not a TAS only trick, although in runs you only get 1 attempt at it. so just wait and see.
Doesn't fight the what? Yeah. It was relevant, so we talked about it. Sometimes we try and keep it a secret until the run's over. But the trick that we did against the polar bears and the Waterworks works on the life virus, which, as Draco mentioned, was something that the TAS found. Hey, I can run, right?
If only.
Wait, Trylance is not the right choice here. So this shield is damage based. It's got health, and whenever it's defeated or whatever, it will retract and give you an opportunity to attack. So I thought it's kind of. It's the only time the cold heads show up, I do believe. I think it's also the only time that specific shield enemy shows up.
They're not actually really any different from the normal hardheads, are they? Because they still destroy the panels rather than freeze them, because there were no
yeah, they just
different
attack a little
panel
faster.
sets. Because Battle Network 1 has no different panel sets. Like the other Battle Network games have stuff like grass panels and ice panels, but there's nothing like that in this game. The panels are either just there or they're not.
Yep. We did not mark row. Dang, too early. You know, I'm just gonna try.
Oh, you going for Gaia?
Yeah. There's a 50% chance. Dang. So that's one of those rare instances where we could escape, but since it was a turn 2 fight anyway, we're just like, trying to get the chip. And this is the last opportunity to shop. I don't think we got Invis or Time Bomb 2. Actually, we have enough for both. So I don't think I got Thunder, and I'm at 53, so let's take a small detour to pick up Thunder. Wow, they're all A-coded. Dang. Hey,
That's good tower.
so that helps. Actually, did we even see one of the Billies, the Thunder viruses?
I don't think we did.
Yes, in the power plant pump.
Okay. I figured we did, but I probably just escaped from the fight, so I didn't even pay attention. Thanks, not too early. Oh, Iron Body. Alright. Well, I mean, that's a new one. I forgot they could drop that. I think Gaia is the high rank chip.
Yeah. And Iron Body still counts after all, so yeah, certainly take that.
Gosh. Tidal wave. There's a GMD over here that has a chance to drop Recov 150. Oh, I think one of
Oh,
those
nice.
arrows multi-hit.
Yeah, that was a double hit. So, those aura head enemies, they have the aura which you need to dispel with an attack that's greater than or equal to the amount displayed. And once that goes away, the head detaches from the main body to come flying towards you to attack you, but the head and the body then both have their own hitbox. So if they're on the same panel and you attack, it actually does deal 2 hits.
I should move down.
Yeah, it's still fine.
I guess I would have had to use a Buster Shot anyway, so. The body was invincible? No, you can jump behind the head and hit it. Even though it doesn't have numbers. Yeah, it's been long enough that I can't really say that with any sort of certainty, but I am reasonably confident that's the case.
It's definitely not invincible at any rate, no.
Okay.
Because you can destroy the head as it's flying at you.
I guess if you double hit, that's evidence enough that...
Basically, yeah.
Wait, no, in town. Maybe in the later games. So we're almost done with this scenario. Except I still need ships. So you talk to this guy and he was a former... It's crazy how many people are former World 3 operatives. It's like, what is your motivation? They must have great benefits. $57. I can get burner from... Because we need to have the chips at this point. So I think I need to get 2 random ones. So first, let's throw that in. And I don't care about the rest. So in Battle Network 1, they don't save after you use the chip trader. You can put in your chips, see what you get on reset. I just need 2 slow gauge. That's a new one, right? No, I bought slow gauge.
Oh my god.
Yeah, still 57. Okay. So 10's more likely. We got on the World War II, but ended up in World 3. That's understandable, Plum. I can see that being a misconception.
Alright, I bet at some point you're gonna get Leaf Shield.
Singles like, you caught me. This is... Single segment's not consistent or safe.
Still 57, man.
How? Wow, what the hell?
I expected Cloudier to be at least 1 new chip.
Oh, it's like I bought most of these. Iceman too, okay.
Well, that's definitely new.
So like, the single segment strat would be, let's go on the internet and fight Fireman 2. Or let's go fight Proto Man. You just keep fighting navies to fill in the chips that you're missing. Like I could go fight Number Man. Maybe we should do that. Sonic Wave, I just need 1 more. But this is... a little faster for the marathon's sake. Percent non-intentional RNG minute. You don't have 10 chips. Alright, we'll fight Number Man. Yeah, I'm scared of your rare chips, Higsby.
Hey, at least we can hit him with swords now.
As technically true, Zapdos. Ah.
Oh, wow.
I was impatient. Oh. Same either way.
It'll be the same after a half charge and then whichever one.
So there's number. We still technically need one more, but I'm gonna get the burner chip. Oh no, I need to buy the AC/DC ticket, because I gotta go to the old man. But this is the where you would, later in the run, go over to this blackboard area. I guess we can get either burner or dynamite. I don't think we picked up any of the dynamite chips. Sorry about that. Well. This is awkward.
It's all good. You just don't gotta move. Easy.
Now we gotta wait for the towel to grow back. What a virus.
I'm really glad these guys never came back for another BN game. Unless they showed up in 2, because I don't
They
really
didn't.
know. They did?
They did not. This is the only
Okay.
game where it's the only game where the dynamite guys show up. They chip. Oh, that's true. So some chips in Battle Network 1 came over to Battle Network 2 through like the Retro Chip Trader, or from WWW Area 1 for ridiculously high prices. The fire fishing. Yeah. Okay, AC/DC ticket. Well, now we're basically done. We've got all the chips. We're past like the blocking points in the run. So now we can just go. And we took @dad earlier, so we can open up a shortcut from Dad's computer, because it's located conveniently close to the undernet. Do you want those satellite guys to come back? They killed me in one of my earlier Battle Network 2 runs. Just get one shot. I think it was a one shot. He is indeed Zapdos. So if we have an escape, we're going to use it. Since we don't need any more chips, even if we could win the fight quickly, there'd be no reason to. I don't know, we're going to start using the memos we picked up, so we use the lab memo there. We use the lab memo here. Come back, Alerga. Welcome to the internet, not to be mistaken for the actual internet. Pay no attention to our same graphics.
The least they could have done was made the shading a little bit darker to at least distinguish it a little bit.
That would take quite a while to go kill base. We'd have to get 174 chips in our library and then go to the final area. Granted, if we were going to do that, I'd no. But it's not so much getting good. It's part of it, but it's more it just takes a long time.
About 16-ish hours to get all the chips.
So this is a big bomb. You shouldn't stand in the middle. No, he got the recap one.
Oh, wow.
I stood in the middle. I think quite a few of us would be willing to pay extra for a remake of the Battle Network games. I would be. But probably not enough people. There's no reason to do the fight. I wanted to. Well, please jump on this. Nope? Okay. You're mainly joking? Well, I mean, it's been done. I think if it were ever done again, it would stop at base, because getting everything post-base is kind of silly. Alright, could you all line up for me, please?
Okay.
I was worried there was very little of those ghosts left for my sword to hit. Alright, so this is Bomb Man. He's got some pretty good dialogue. But you'll just have to trust me on that one. He's not gonna come to the front. Well, actually.
Bomb Man also has a, for this game, unique sort of gimmick where I mentioned about how there's no like stage changing chips in this game, and element doesn't really tend to have an effect in this game either for the most part, but if you use a fire chip on the bombs while they're on his side of the field, they will actually explode and damage him.
Which is pretty cool. What? Oh, right. So you should use mine now that he's below health. Which means I got plenty of time to throw stuff at him while he's just standing there. Didn't even use mine. Alright. That's it. And now we're gonna talk to Dad, and he's like, hey, what were you doing on my computer? Oh, nothing, just browsing the internet. I mean, doing my homework. Hey, can you...
Elemental weaknesses are a thing, but they're not signposted in this game. Like, aside from the fact that it's dealing more damage, there's no indication that anything has an elemental weakness.
Correct. Oh, but no, no additional routing has been done for drop the base percent per month. Alright, we're gonna go to bed. And then we're gonna wake up, and Dr. Wily's on TV. Bad stuff's happening. I'm gonna pick up this World 3 pass that Higsby just left on the table. We're gonna go ask this guy, hey, do you know where I can use this World 3 pass to get to the World 3? He's like, no, I don't think we have a metro that goes there. But when you go to the school, you hear something suspicious, and it turns out there's a secret entrance underneath the school fountain that leads to a hidden metro line that will take you to World 3 space, because why not?
This is like never explained either. Like it's in the school. Why?
They only like hint that there's something suspicious there. Is I think when you inspect the statue or something somewhere says that an unknown beneficiary donated for this fountain.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of random. Because even like when you see Higsby show up at the school, he comes from outside the school, which means he didn't even take the metro line. But you did, I think, hear the metro line. Anyway, you have this expired World 3 pass, so you take it to your dad, and he's like, oh yeah, I can reset it. Suspicious. Hey, Red Funk. The legendary Battleship Challenge World Record holder. Alright, here's OSG. Alright, we didn't get stuck on OSG.
He's the worst guy in the game, basically. He'll kill your run.
Mm-hmm. He'll grab a hold of you and never let go. And now we're at Dr. Wily's base. Dr. Wily's grape soda fountain factory.
So this is where it came from.
Yeah. Delicious.
Because again, it was in the fountain, which is connected to the base. Everything makes sense now.
So these areas, especially this first one, it's shorter, so it's got a higher encounter rate, and the viruses here are pretty bad. Well,
Mm-hmm.
oh, let that do anything. Okay. New strategy.
Second turn escape is in these fights.
So,
Like, if you're going to get an escape, you really want to draw it first turn so that you don't just have to deal with the fight at all.
yeah. I should have had. Adding statistically is going to be far better. There's an issue with the current video player that's capturing this, where whenever there's a significant change in the image, the color distorts. Fortunately, there's not much we can do about it at this point. Like, see those handies got 300 health, and this candle 2 guy heals. Oh my gosh. As long as this candle's up, so wow. Everything's got a lot of health, does a lot of damage. So
I'm actually going to run some numbers real quick to determine what your chance of drawing an escape is.
yeah.
No.
It's like, I think it's something ridiculous, like 90% after 2 ads, and you can still fail that.
We're about to find out.
Yeah.
There's a page that I used before for this, but is this it?
Hey, Glide
This is
showed
it.
up and did something useful, but we skipped the cutscene, so you'll never know.
The only time he's ever useful in any Battle Network game.
Pretty much.
You have 5 escapes in your folder, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is just a bunch of random doors.
You have a 98% chance to get 1 escape in 15 chips.
That sounds right.
So if you add twice and you don't get an escape, that's a 2% chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. I'm sorry, these doors aren't random, they're just different. Yep. Second guess. There's a specific pattern that I go through to guess the numbers. So it's nice when it works out quickly. But it is actually possible to always guess the number using this specific strategy. Should have done your daily virus scans. No. Corners.
Movement's tricky when you're trying to cut corners.
No. Alright, add. Well, I guess I should be able to kill him. It was a double hit. Because it was a half charge, not full charge. I guess if you can't escape, finishing in 1 turn is the next best. And here you got to do a little diagonal slide to get all the way over here. And then Iceman shows up and just eats the ice. It looks funny. Yes, sir. Grape soda. So this is the bossless boss rush, where the music is the same in every comp. Are we having fun? Oh dear. So those jellyfish, their wave attack does 300 damage, and there's 1 frame to dodge it. So, fortunately we have 320 health, but that's still pretty scary. That blue Mr. Dead is an HP memory, but it pretty much doesn't make a difference. Too bad Mega Man couldn't just push the rock off. At least Gutsman's here. Hey, this is that scene from Dr. Wily. His shirt has a happy face on it. This portrait looks weird. It's also the final area though. So we're coming up on the final boss, which is of course Magic Man.
Quote unquote final boss, we'll see.
I believe.
I mean, if you don't get it, on the bright side, you get to show off the extra final boss.
The secret boss, yeah.
The unfinished beta boss that wasn't supposed to show up until NT.
Tri-Lance is pretty fun. It fires fast enough to actually be useful.
I like how now you're getting all the chip drops.
Yeah, Typhoon, Thunder. I think I already had Thunder too, pick it up in the blue mystery data. But yeah. That's true, there's no, well actually there's one battery puzzle, but Roll solves it for you, so. If you talk to that Mr. Prog, he says that you won't be able to save if you go forward. I got all these dry arrows. Wait, that's gonna kill me.
Terra, you're killing me here.
I couldn't do math.
And yourself. When
I
did
think
you
I died
last
right before I was gonna save too. That's the
Okay.
worst part.
Oh hey, it's this guy again.
Ugh.
You can have your salty run back.
That's like, alright, I'm gonna save right after the prog gets into encounter. These guys are dangerous. I was like, I have 160 health. That won't kill me. Oh, that's not the first death, bro.
It is a good example of what I said before about how the enemies in this game, in the later comps, do deal a lot of damage. Like, the viruses in this game are really strong. This is why RNG manipulation was kind of a boon for running this game, because single segment is kind of brutal for this reason. It's just very dangerous.
One frame window. What a great manip run. Look, just next year, let's convince Prism to actually do a run.
I agree. Based Prism.
61 chips. Alright, we did it. It's over. Oh good, a cloud. Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
What luck.
Ah!
this is interesting, yeah.
Clouds are the worst virus. Sorry, Matar. I didn't mean it.
Oh my god. Come on.
Oh no.
What is going on?
And this is the final boss, everybody.
Oh,
I was mashing A, but I was still recovering from the
oh my god.
Goodness. That's the scariest fight of actually doing single segment. Just because, like, what do you do when that happens?
Yeah, you can see how back in the day when runs of this game were just done like this, imagine getting a good run up to this point and then being faced with this fight. It's just like, yeah, okay.
So we gotta kill that ghost, because if we don't, it's gonna heal Magic Man or any other virus that appears on the field. Oh, I didn't want to hit you. I mean, I did, but oh my gosh, this guy.
It's easy to forget just how hectic this fight actually gets. Oh my god.
Can I escape from this fight? I don't trust Aqua Tower to get there in time. Oh, this is literally the worst combination.
Oh my god. Please draw Fighter Sword. Please draw Fighter
This
Sword.
game hates you.
What is this?
Oh, the fire did
Oh my
something.
god.
I was like, I'll damage boost, and then we can get it. He had 20 health left. Okay.
You got this, man. I believe in you.
As you can see, Magic Man really doesn't mess around.
Nope. Fire. Oh,
Oh, the Dukes. Nearly.
in the tarb. Get out of my way. Ooh.
That. Please don't summon any more clouds at this point, because now you can't dodge them. These escapes are putting in work.
It's like you wanted us earlier, right? Yeah, those train arrows were pretty good, man. Maybe we should just take the escapes. Oh hey, I can get rid of one of the escapes. Alright, we got this. Hey!
Wait, so
You did it, you beat the final boss.
So the Invis doesn't heal Magic Man then in that case?
It does, but
I think he needed to be a lower HP for it to
Yeah.
actually trigger.
Okay.
yeah. So I got him down to 120 and then finished him with the Mega Cannon. So Dr. Wily's standing there, all he's gotta do is hit the button and Lan's just like, hold on. Just give me a minute.
So the same trick that was used in the Waterworks to skip the polar bear fight is possible here, but it is still technically a frame perfect trick. Some people, like Prism, prefer to try and YOLO this. I don't know if Tterraj's gonna intro to it and then try to buffer it, which is also a popular option, but if he misses it then there's no second attempt because save is disabled at this point.
Yeah. No, I'm not crazy like Prism. He YOLO'd it in a marathon. I don't think anything can get better than that. Your Buster at this point is super cool though.
Yeah.
So I'll make the little fire right there. Yeah, your Buster's all the stats are 6 now. I think I'm 1 away. No, I'm 2 away. Okay.
Very nice.
So
That's
Oh.
the final boss.
yeah. Method, can you hit time for me?
Congrats on the run.
Congratulations.
That final boss, Magic Man, is really tough.
Oh man, it's a shame you weren't able to show off the beta boss.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which actually, it's the end of the marathon. Should I?
You could do.
I'll fight Magic Man again, and if I die, then we won't show it off. But if I beat him, we'll show it off.
Just let's just hope you don't get any more clouds.
Just
Worst possible.
root Magic Man Manip live.
Yeah.
Just enough to get the wind box.
Oh, that'd be so good. But this more or less concludes TeamBN's Summer Showcase 2017, where despite a couple drops and a few technical issues, we did show off every single, the Core 6 Battle Network games, the Core 3 Star Force games, Network Transmission, Wonder Swan, Battleship Challenge, a whole bunch of fan games, Chrono X, Tri-Wing, M-Cycle, Mega Man Battle Network 3D, BCC plays BCC. Lots of cool stuff. So I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we're gonna try and fix a few issues that we had this year and come back better next year. We'll likely do an event in the winter, which will be a little more casual and probably a little bit shorter, but it'll have most of the fan games again represented as sort of a update on them, and then next summer we'll do the full thing again. Hey, Mega Man's in the real world.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tara. That was definitely an entertaining run.
Oh, thank you. Totally single
206 in-game time.
I really enjoyed your manipulated run.
Thanks, Method.
Yes, so did I.
Yeah, 80%. Look, I got a star.
The only one that shows up.
Copy button being one, yeah. Mega Man only level 30.
I'm going to have to call it myself though, so I'm just going to wish you guys good luck on the rest of this. Well, yeah, good start. But either way, it has been a great event and it's been cool to take part in this again, even if it's just been for commentating. So, good luck guys and congrats again on the event, and I will see you guys later.
Thank you,
Cool.
Draco.
Thanks, Draco.
appreciate
See you, Draco.
your commentary.
No problem.
That was a nice triple escape opening draw, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right?
You
You
did
see
the
those
PA.
dodges, though? I dodged the clouds and the ghost and the fire.
This is a lot easier when the viruses are desynced like that.
Yeah. I feel like I've also warmed up a bit, so. Electrocute me. See, Magic Man's easy.
Congrats, I'll be the final boss again.
Oh.
Easy every time.
Goodness. Oh, so the other fun thing is, at this point we can't save or leave, but you can challenge Proto Man to a net battle.
Wily's about to destroy the Earth or whatever plot he's doing. Fight me real quick.
Just see how ridiculous this buster is.
Proto Man is very hard in BN1.
Yes. Hey, Proto Man. Oh, so now we can go. Cat Gaming, I do as well. Actually, that's not the final boss anymore, so it's easy. I guess. Alright, let's get the double hit. Miss. It'd be a little too convenient if it did Zapdos. The full charge shot does 96.
I don't think BN1 even has Pearson. Or does it?
Those guys do
I
so
don't
much
believe
damage.
so. There's actually a window when these guys start up their attack where you can double hit them as the head spawns on the same panel.
Oh! Double delete. I was trying to double hit him, but I kept missing.
I thought you were showing the light virus.
I am. I was just trying to like get the skip without using a corner.
So what people don't know is that Wonder Swan was in the works right now. They wanted to see if they could put the light virus in the Battle Network game.
You found the secret boss.
So if you stand in the bottom left, he will use the sword. So your charge shot does just under 100. Those guys have 100 health.
I think it's better to mash, isn't it?
So mash what?
The Buster. To just like knock down his aura and spam B. I guess
Or
if
if
you
it
don't have
does
something
Star
to
Force
break
Mega Man,
the,
hold down B.
It's better to hold the charge.
Well, your charge buster won't break it.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like,
It does 96.
so I'm gonna stand here. Alright. And if you're, once he's below 500 health, he gains access to a different attack. The, meteor something. So if you stand here, he's got an increased chance of doing the life sword attack instead. Which is a little easier. And if you stand in the middle, he'll often do his laser attack. Like that. Which is pretty quick, but easy enough to dodge. Laser attack is made famous by the Wonder Swan version.
I need to ask Kid why he didn't add the meteor attack in the Wonder Swan version.
Probably like not a sprite limit, but if I stand in the corner here, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he'll do the meteor attack. Which is kind of like Gaia, as far as dodging it goes. Ooh, Quake 3. Die. Oh, the tiles also look really weird. I forgot about that. But your Buster's pretty good, and that fight's fun to do with the fully unlocked Buster. Let's see if I can get the quote. WWW forever.
Wily's a champ. How do you handle a missile exploding at point blank range?
I don't know. He's survived a lot of stuff. He's as indestructible as Lan is, maybe even more so.
Missile exploding, being eaten by Alpha, and then the island exploding in the ocean. Surviving a volcano, an active one in 5.
Surviving 2 giant cyber beasts exploding right next to him in 6.
Alpha does kill him? I mean, then how does he show up in Battle Network 6? And technically 5. Like, I think chronologically those are later, so he must survive somehow. I don't know.
I mean, he has to. He shows up at the end of 5.
But now that's everything. The only other hard fight left in the game is Sharkman, and I will not be demonstrating that. You can try that on your own. Have fun. You remember Sharkman, right, Method?
He's too traumatized to talk about it.
I can see why you'd think that's possible. But yeah, so we're gonna end the marathon here, and over the next week or so we'll be highlighting all of the runs on Twitch and then uploading them to YouTube, making a playlist, and sometime in fall start planning for our winter event. That's pretty much it. In the meantime, if you scroll down below the Twitch channel, you'll see panels for all the different stuff. If you enjoyed any of the fan games or being inspired games, so like Tri-Wing, Chrono X, N-Cycle. N-Cycle and Chrono X both have public demos that you can go play. Both of them are coming out with a new demo soon. N-Cycle's coming out with a new demo July 1st. And Chrono X will be coming out with a new demo later this year. Tri-Wing's still in closed alpha beta, but it'll be out.
The backer alpha is launching soon, I believe.
Gotcha. Oh, but other cool stuff coming up is next week. If you're interested in Mega Man Battle Network 6 net battles, or if you're interested in net battles, just starting, I believe, July 1st, the N1 Grand Prix guys are going to start their next big tournament. So you've got like just under 2 weeks to prepare for it. So method to the link in chat. If you join the Discord and you want to participate, that'll help you get started. And yeah, you got 2 weeks to prepare. It's a lot of fun, very challenging, but quite
All right,
worth
the
it.
tournament.
Yeah, and then at the end of the tournament, July 8th, 7th and 8th, or just the 8th, here on this channel, Tterraj42, we will be airing all of the matches, or I think all the matches. Yeah, might be across 2 days. Friday is going to be like the first rounds, and then Saturday is going to be like the quarter, semi, and finals. So yeah, July 1st we might do something for End Cycle coming out as well. So we'll try and do a little more with the TeamBN channel in the meantime. And other than that, hopefully get some people inspired to pick up some of the Battle Network games and do more races, have fun stuff. If you're interested in speedrunning, you can get on the TeamBN Discord as well for that. Thank you, Method.